Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing something that is completely different to anything I do, and that's why I've done it on a Monday. That's why I've basically done it with minimal editing, because quite simply it is something that is very important to me and I would feel wrong if I didn't do anything. So you guys know that I love Trails and I love Falcon and I love JRPGs. But another hobby of mine, or another love of mine, is football. I love football. And some of you may have noticed that something big has happened in the European footballing world, or soccer for you guys in America. And it was just something that I couldn't believe when I saw it. I couldn't believe it, because it has the potential of destroying modern football as we know it. It is such a seismic shift in everything that we know. And when I saw it at 11 o'clock last night, I just couldn't, I was in disbelief. I thought it was a nightmare. I thought it was a nightmare, a bad dream that would just disappear the next morning. But no, sure enough, it's still there come the morning. And I mean, I was so annoyed, I actually went out for fresh air and I got myself Aegis Rim to play to get my mind off it, because I just couldn't, I just couldn't get my mind off it. And that's the thing, guys, like, I apologise for all of my regular viewers, but I had to get this out here because I would just feel wrong if I didn't say anything, if I didn't get my frustrations out in some way. I needed to get my frustrations out, my anger out in some way. And that's what I'm going to be doing here. And if anyone if it contributes in any way to stopping this from happening, then my job is done. And of course, I am talking about the proposed European Super League. So for those of you guys who don't know football, what is the European Super League and why is it so bad? So the Super League is effectively an invite-only tournament for Europe's elite teams. And there are 12 founding members at the moment. They're trying to bring it up to 15, but it's going to be a 20-team format. So 15 teams in it who are the founding members. And just to say as well, the three who have gone against it, like PSG, Dortmund and Bayern Munich, good on you. Good on you for standing up to it. But the 15 teams, if they're going to try and get those 15 teams in, will be part of it, will be 75% of the league format, year in, year out. And then the other 5 will be invited based upon their merits in their leagues and stuff like that, and rotated out on an annual basis. The problem with this league, and what it highlights, is that money rules everything. This is motivated purely by greed. I remember last night when the announcement was made, and there was a guy on Sky News who I don't know his name, but he reads out like all of the articles and stuff like that, and he goes like, he looks at it and goes, okay, so this is what they're going to be doing, these are the founding clubs, blah 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 blah, and then he looks at his phone again, and he goes, how much are these teams getting anyway? And you could see him on his face, he was taken aback with how ridiculous it was, and he goes, 3.5 billion euros. And he repeats himself, 3.5 billion euros, because he was in disbelief. And then immediately after that he goes, yeah, it's motivated by money. And that's what it is. It's completely motivated by money. And it destroys any sort of integrity or competitive nature or rivalry. All of that goes out the window with this league, because this league, for the 15 teams that are the founding members, they will be in there for perpetuity, indefinitely. They cannot be relegated or anything like that. So if they have a bad season, like say they finish 15th or they finish 20th, doesn't matter to them, because they're not leaving. They get their money, they get their pay packet, whoopee, let's try again next season. So the passion, the excitement, the rivalry, it's gone. It is completely gone. And then this idea of the big European teams playing each other week in, week out, how boring is that going to be? Part of the excitement of these big European teams playing each other, like Bayern Munich and PSG in the final last year, and Real Madrid and Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final, was that it happened maybe once a year. That it was rare. And it allowed fans to dare to dream. And to go, oh man, now we get to see how we stack up against the best in Europe. That's the beauty of it. But then you're going to be seeing it every week, week in, week out. I mean, what is that saying? Like, if Christmas is every day, then it's no longer Christmas. That is effectively what we're getting here. But the real sad thing and the worst thing about it is that This effectively can destroy the footballing pyramid as a whole. You see, let's narrow it down to England because that's where my team is from. England as a whole has the Premier League, and then they have stuff like the Championship, League One, League Two, Conference, and all this kind of stuff. Now, the 6 teams who are going into this Super League are the ones who generate the most income, apparently, through TV rights, revenue, all that kind of rubbish. Effectively, though, what happens is that as soon as they leave the Premier League, and that is effectively what is going to be happening, they are going to be leaving the Premier League because the FA, the English Football Association, they're not going to stand for it. They'll kick them out. They'll be gone. They're out of the Premier League. And effectively what they'll be doing is they'll be taking all that revenue with them to this league and have this little bubble where they can all kind of just throw each other dollar bills and pounds and stuff like that and laugh in their golden showers. Whereas the other teams who get there through merit, like West Ham, Leicester, Everton, who have had brilliant seasons themselves, especially West Ham, it's all for nothing. It's all for nothing. It's nothing to do with merit or anything like that or your achievements. It's just about how much money you bring in. That's all it is. It goes against everything that we love about football. Everything. Everything is just gone. And the sad thing is that we'll never, ever get something like a Leicester City again. Leicester City winning the Premier League title, winning something that they never should have won. But they did it through effort and teamwork and everything that was just beautiful about football, and I was so happy for them. I'm not a Leicester fan, but I was happy for them. I remember watching it with my landlord, who was a Tottenham fan, and Chelsea had an awful season that year, but Tottenham were the only team that were challenging Leicester for the title that year. And I remember watching it with him, and Tottenham went 2-0 up in this game, which basically would decide the title, because if Tottenham didn't win, Leicester would win the title there and there. And Tottenham went 2-0 up in the first half. And in the second half, Chelsea came back. Gary Cahill gets one back, and then Eden Hazard with an amazing equaliser, which wins Leicester the title. And I was so happy. Everyone was happy. Even some Tottenham fans. My landlord, even though he was gutted, he was happy for Leicester. Because it's something that you would just never see again. Likely never see again. Dreams fulfilled through something like this. And that's the problem. This European Super League is going to destroy that. It's gone with this. The magic is going for greed, for money. And I'm sure you're going to be asking now, like, why am I so worked up about it? Why do I care so much? Well, it is because one of the 12 founding members is my team, Chelsea. Chelsea are one of the 12 founding members. And I'm just angry, betrayed, frustrated, upset. Every adjective I can think of, I am that. Every negative adjective, at least. And I know what some of my viewers will say. Why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? It's only football. No. No. It's not just football. It's not just football. It's more than that. I have been a Chelsea fan for 25 years. I'm 28 now, so pretty much my whole life I've been a Chelsea fan. And that stems from my dad, who supported them in the late 60s and the 70s. Some of his greatest memories came from Chelsea, from the 1970s FA Cup final, from meeting Peter Osgood, because he worked for the Slough Gas Board. And Peter Osgood used to live in Slough, and it was because of Peter Osgood that he got the ticket to go to the FA Cup final against Leeds. And his support came from my granddad and my great uncle. History and tradition runs through our blood. Chelsea blood runs through our veins. And some of my earliest memories as a kid are supporting Chelsea. Supporting my team. I remember the 1997 FA Cup final where we won the game, but there was also that brilliant song by Suggs & Co, Blue Day, that I listened to for like an hour on repeat on like my old VHS. Amazing song. Togetherness and that feeling that we were going to go to a final, this special occasion. I remember the 04, 05, 06 season when we won the Premier League. I remember Gianfranco Zola, seeing him at the training ground and seeing John Terry come through the ranks and be the greatest Chelsea captain ever. I remember winning the Champions League for the first and only time in 2012. I remember being in the student union bar with other Chelsea fans. And my next door neighbour, who I was in the same block of apartments as him since it was my first year of university, so we got to live on campus, he came with me. He was a Man United fan, but he went with me because he loved football too. And the sadness I felt, the sadness that everyone felt when Muller scored that 85th minute goal or whatever it was, I think it was 85th minute, and then Didier Drogba getting that bullet header to get us back into the game with an equaliser. And then the penalty to win it. Petr Cech saving 3 penalties. Yes, he did save that one against Schweinsteiger. And of course, Didier Drogba scoring that final penalty to win us the Champions League. I've never felt so proud of my team. I've never felt so proud. I was in tears. I phoned up my dad, who was also in tears. I was outside speaking to him and saying like, oh my God, we're the champions of Europe. Champions of Europe. We were the champions of Europe. We had earned that. We had earned that right to call us champions of Europe. I remember going to Stamford Bridge for a game on that following season and seeing the flag raised high and swaying in the wind, showing that we were champions. Getting a picture with the Big Ear trophy itself. Memories, dreams, all of it. Some of the greatest memories I have come from supporting Chelsea and football. And this Super League has the potential of ruining it all because the teams that join this Super League are pretty much going to be kicked out of their domestic leagues. At least the FA have said so. And just to say as well, the FA, UEFA, FIFA, they're not blameless in this either because they allowed this to happen. They allowed this bubble to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it is now on the verge of bursting. But they're not blameless in this either. It's their fault too. But the point is that now with this European Super League, the chances are is that these teams will be kicked out of the Premier League. They'll be kicked out of the FA Cup, the League Cup, the players won't be able to play for their national teams, and the Champions League, well, they'll be out of the Champions League anyway. So pretty much, the only competition they'll be in is the bloody European Super League. How boring. How boring. And also, the owners. Everyone knows it's for money. Everyone knows it's for money. There is no other reason. There's no other reason for this. It doesn't help everyone else. They're using COVID. They're using the pandemic as a smokescreen to go like, oh yeah, we need a bit more money. Piss off. You've got enough money. You've all got enough money. And that goes for all of the teams. Bloody the Italian teams, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, the Spanish teams, Real Madrid, especially Real Madrid with Florentino Perez. That guy is an absolute nightmare. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, and then the 6 English teams as well. Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool, Man City. Especially Man United and Liverpool. Liverpool, they're meant to be the people's club. They're meant to be the ones who look out for their people. They've got, even though, yeah, I don't like Liverpool, they've got one of arguably the best fan bases around in terms of loyalty. And then Man United, the irony of Man United doing this. When they have a literal flag in the stadium of Old Trafford in the Stretford end from the great Sir Matt Busby, the late Sir Matt Busby, saying football is nothing without the fans. Well, guess what? They're just throwing the fans aside. They don't care about us. They don't care about our history, our tradition, our leagues. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is making a quick buck from all the loyal supporters. Screw your loyalty, screw your membership, screw your service. Nah, just give us your money. It is wrong. Wrong. Morally wrong. And I cannot support it. And that's why I just need to get my frustration out. I need to say something, because as soon as this is out, and as soon as it's done, I can just move on with my life. But I need to say something. I need to say it. And If this European Super League falls through, if say it goes on for a year and it fails, and then the clubs come back and beg to be put back into the league, you know what? Start them from the bottom, including my team, including Chelsea. Put them at the bottom. Start them from the conference or below that. Force them to make their way back up, because they don't deserve to be in the Premier League. They need to earn the right to be there again. They don't deserve to be there. It is disgusting. Absolute disgusting. And to be associated, to support a club that has such a disregard, a flagrant disregard for fans and for the wider footballing hierarchy. It's disgusting. Appalling. I am ashamed. Don't get me wrong. I love Chelsea Football Club. I love Chelsea Football Club. But I cannot support Chelsea, the business. The business with no morals, no ethics, that would flagrantly just disregard everything the fans say. Heck, they didn't even ask the fans. The Chelsea Supporters Trust came out and said, like, yeah, they didn't ask us, they didn't tell us anything. It's just the owners doing what they want with their playthings. Give us back the Chelsea that I love. Give us back the teams that we love. Put some passion back in. This sport was made by the poor, the working class, and it has been robbed by the rich. We cannot let this happen.